Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. The names we will never forget. On November 13, 2022, these four young University of Idaho students were murdered in the most horrific and brutal way possible. For more than 7 weeks, the killer remained on the loose. But stupid mistakes by the attacker and great police work finally unmasked the poor excuse for a murderer, Bryan Kohberger. Now property of the state of Idaho, inmate number 163214 was given 4 consecutive life sentences in prison without the possibility of parole or appeal. Now Moscow police have started releasing investigative documents. Over 300 pages already made public, many heavily redacted, but containing chilling new details into the crime, the victims, and the killer's behavior. Sensitive information that takes an emotional toll on all of us, even if we're watching from afar. The documents begin with gripping descriptions of the crime scene. Officers responding to this home on 1122 King Road back on November 13, 2022. They never imagined the brutality of what they would find inside. In the second-floor room of the home, now demolished, police officers discovered 20-year-old University of Idaho student Xana Kernodle. Xana remembered as this beautiful young woman inside and out who was artistic, intelligent, and led her life with meaning, adored by her boyfriend Ethan. But back on that fateful night, all that was ripped away from the world. Officers found Xana on the floor. Her body had more than 50 stab wounds, according to the autopsies released by the Moscow PD. But those stab wounds were not all. Xana also had defensive cuts across her fingers. Investigators say most of her injuries were inflicted as she fought for her life, described as an intense struggle. In a police report, one officer wrote, "I was unable to comprehend exactly what I was looking at while trying to discern the nature of the injuries." Next was triplet Ethan, known for his kind spirit, his love for sports and the outdoors, also, of course, for his love of family, especially his siblings. And of course, Ethan also known for being a great boyfriend to Xana. They were inseparable, and the documents show that night was no exception. Police found Ethan still lying in bed. He had a blanket pulled across him, and investigators noted 2 large cuts to the back of his legs, deep into the tissue, butchered by a monster. The autopsy revealed Ethan was killed by a slashing knife wound to the neck. The autopsy and records also describe what officers saw and the results of what medical examiners found. On the 3rd floor of the home were best friends Kaylee Goncalves and Maddie Mogen. Before this awful night, Maddie and Kaylee were always seen like this, smiling, socializing, and out meeting friends. Maddie was a senior, and her family says her ability to make others smile and laugh with her offbeat and hilarious sense of humor made her so unique. And Kaylee was who her family referred to as the ultimate middle child. She did absolutely everything she set her mind to. She didn't hold back on love, fights, or life, and was the ultimate go-getter. But Maddie's and Kaylee's story goes far beyond being roommates. They grew up together, celebrating all the small and big moments together, and as best friends do, they shared everything. That night, they shared Maddie's room, and that's where they were murdered together also. Their bodies discovered hours after they were killed. Former Moscow Police Chief James Fry used strong adjectives to describe the stabbing deaths: violent, angry, and also said, "To me, a knife's more personal, so very different as far as the type of scene that I've been on." The newly released documents reveal Maddie Mogen suffered a wound on her face and deep cuts on her upper body, with fatal stab wounds to her liver and left lung. Kaylee Goncalves' injuries equally gruesome. She had knife wounds to her face and upper body so extreme that they made her unrecognizable. These 4 adventurous, eager, and loving young students had no idea what was coming. What we do know now is that while the focus of much of the case has been on the 30-year-old who pleaded guilty to these heinous and disgusting crimes, ironically to avoid death himself, just like the coward he is. While he'll soon drift into oblivion and be forgotten if prisoners don't get to him first, these 4 young students, on the other hand, will be remembered by their loving families and all of us. On the same campus where the most evil of crimes was committed, now a permanent space for quiet reflection, remembrance, hope, and healing has emerged. It's called the Vandal Healing Garden and Memorial, an open and welcoming space for all who visit the University of Idaho. But if you can't make it here, the Chapin family keeps reminding us there's another way to remember these 4 beautiful souls, simply by doing an act of kindness. Maddie Mogen, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, and Kaylee Goncalves will continue to say your names. You'll always be with us, inspiring us all, even during the darkest moments.